Last night, Daniel received a phone call. The caller sounded exactly like him. The voice warned him not to open the door, and before the call ended, it said something Daniel couldn't stop thinking about. It said, "Tomorrow night, you'll see the door." Daniel thought it was a joke until the next night arrived. Because at 2:47 a.m., the door appeared. The second night, Daniel didn't sleep well after the phone call. Every sound in the apartment felt suspicious. The creaking of the floor, the humming refrigerator, even the wind outside the window. But morning eventually came, and nothing strange happened. The apartment looked exactly the same. One bedroom, one living room, one hallway, and one front door, just like always. For a moment, Daniel felt relieved. Maybe the phone call was just a prank. Maybe someone had been messing with him, but that feeling didn't last long, because when Daniel checked his phone, the call log was still there. Unknown number. Duration, 10 minutes and 3 seconds. Exactly the length of the conversation he remembered. That meant the call was real, and the warning might be too. Waiting for 2:47. That night, Daniel refused to sleep. He sat on the couch watching the clock. The apartment was silent. Too silent. Every few minutes he checked the walls. Nothing unusual. No mysterious door. Just plain white paint. At 2:30 a.m., Daniel started relaxing. Maybe the voice was wrong. Maybe nothing would happen tonight. Then the clock changed to 2:47 a.m. and the lights flickered. The new door. Daniel turned toward the bedroom. Something was different. The wall beside his bed had changed. Where there used to be nothing, there was now a door. A wooden door. Old. Scratched. The paint peeling at the edges. Daniel felt his heart pounding in his chest. "That wasn't there," he whispered. He walked slowly toward it. The door looked completely real. It had hinges, a brass handle, even a keyhole. But Daniel knew this apartment perfectly. That wall had always been solid. Until now. Then he heard it. Knock. A soft knock from the other side. The phone rings again. Daniel stepped back. His phone started ringing, the same unknown number. Daniel hesitated before answering, but curiosity won. He picked up. The voice spoke immediately. "Daniel, you need to listen." It sounded exactly like him again. "You were right," Daniel whispered. The door appeared. The voice sounded tired. "I know." "How?" "Because I'm behind it." "The loop." Daniel stared at the door. "You're inside there?" "Yes." "How is that possible?" The voice paused. Then it explained something impossible. "This has happened before, many times. Every night at 2:47, reality resets. But every reset leaves something behind. A mistake. A crack. And sometimes, a door." Daniel felt the room spinning. "So if I open the door," the voice interrupted him. "Don't." "The first mistake," the voice continued. "The first time it happened, I thought someone was trapped. I opened the door." "What was inside?" Daniel asked. Silence. Then the voice whispered, "Nani." The footsteps. Suddenly, Daniel heard something. Footsteps. From the hallway. Slow, dragging. But Daniel lived alone. He turned toward the darkness of the living room. The footsteps stopped. Then something whispered from the hallway. "Daniel." But the voice wasn't his. And it wasn't the voice from the phone. The other thing, the voice behind the door sounded nervous now. "It found you." "What found me?" Daniel whispered. "The thing that replaces us." Daniel's chest tightened. "What do you mean, replaces us?" "Every time someone opens the door, something comes through." The figure, the hallway light flickered. For a split second, Daniel saw something standing there. A tall shadow. With his shape, his height, his face, but the eyes were wrong. Empty. Cold. Watching him, the thing slowly stepped forward and smiled. Part 10. The truth. The voice on the phone spoke urgently. "Daniel, listen carefully. That thing used to be me. Daniel felt the blood drain from his face. What? I opened the door, and it came through, and now I'm trapped. Final scene, the choice. The shadow started walking toward Daniel. Slowly, calmly, like it knew he couldn't escape. Behind him, the strange door started shaking. Something inside was banging on it, desperate to get out. Daniel stood frozen between two horrors. Daniel stood frozen between the X's, one hiding something, the other trying to get out. And then the phone buzzed again, the thing approaching from the hallway, and the door behind him. Then his phone buzzed. A new message appeared. Unknown sender. It said, "Last time you opened the door, this time it opens you." And the door handle behind him began to turn. Slowly, from the inside, a recap of the story. Daniel stood frozen between the hallway and the strange door. The shadow in the hallway slowly stepped closer. Its footsteps were calm. Too calm, like it already knew the outcome. Daniel's phone was still against his ear. The voice, his voice, whispered urgently, "Daniel, listen carefully. You don't have much time." Daniel's breathing became heavier. "What do I do?" he asked. The voice hesitated. For the first time since the call started, it sounded afraid. "You need to open the door." Daniel turned slowly toward it. "What? You told me not to open it." "That was before." "Before what?" The voice answered quietly. "Before it found you." The shadow in the hallway stopped walking. It tilted its head, like it was listening to the conversation. Daniel whispered, "What happens if I open it?" The voice said something chilling. "You'll escape." Daniel grabbed the door handle, but something felt wrong. Very wrong, because as he touched the handle, he noticed something strange about the voice on the phone. The tone, the breathing, the pauses. They didn't sound like a trapped person anymore. They sounded excited. Daniel slowly removed the phone from his ear and looked at the screen. The call timer was still running, but the caller ID had changed. It no longer said unknown number. It now said Daniel 3 hours ago. Daniel's heart started racing. "What does that mean?" he whispered. The voice laughed softly. "You'll understand soon." Daniel slowly turned back toward the hallway. The shadow was gone. The hallway was empty again, but the door behind him suddenly swung open by itself. A cold wind rushed out, and from the darkness inside the door, a hand reached out. Daniel dropped the phone. The screen lit up one final time. A new message appeared from the same number. It read, "Thanks for opening the door. Now it's your turn to make the call." And the call timer reset to 0 o'clock.